Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Pugliese, and I am a curriculum specialist in CEI's professional Meridian professional learning program. Um, I'm going to present a differentiated arts integrated music program that directly teaches literacy and music. Uh, by engaging students in an arts-based program, students are engaged, creative, inspired, and actually learn academic content while strengthening their social and emotional SEL skills. This ELA music program that teaches literacy is called Musical Elephant Poem. So, we're going to write a poem and we're going to add sounds to the poem. You'll see I'm going to go through that by modeling the program in a few minutes. We're going to be making our own instruments in order to make the sounds that an elephant makes, maybe when it's stomping or drinking water, eating, things like that. Um, the project addresses a wide range of music skills like beat and rhythm, dynamics, which means loud and quiet, tempo, fast and slow, and melody that has pitch, high pitch and low pitch. Again, I'll be demonstrating those kinds of things while I model the program. Um, literacy skills that we address are reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Listening. Um, also, again, social and emotional skills like self-awareness, um, social awareness, relationship skills, self-expression. We've created multiple versions of these lesson plans and curriculum maps. Um, and I'm going to begin with an overview of these K through 2, they're all K through 2, differentiated versions. Then I'm going to discuss the curricular resources. And finally, I'm going to model the actual teaching of the program to a differentiated class of K through 2 learners and also children that may be nonverbal or may be using pointing or hand over hand. So again, we have 6 different versions. First, I'm going to show you some final projects, which means that I'm going to show you some poems geared toward some different levels, just to give you a quick idea of what these differentiated poems might look like. I'm going to share my screen and here we go. Let's see. Here's what we want. So this would be a K learner or it could be an early learner. We have early learner, we have intermediate learner, advancing learner, then we have standard kindergarten, standard first grade, and standard second grade. So 6 versions, as I said. So here's a poem that might be for kindergarten, and it could be for an early learner. There might be less words if it were an early learner, and there might be some pointing to images if it's an early learner, or hand over hand, or using a device. So you can see it's very simple. We name the elephant, snuggles the elephant, stomp your feet, swing your trunk, wiggle your tail, eat and drink, snuggles the happy elephant. You can see that there's some highlighted words, and those highlighted words are highlighted because that's when we're going to have the students make sounds with the instruments that we build, or use movement. Movement is always a big part of our program. Let me go to a second poem. Now here's one, maybe a first grade, and you'll see that it's using maybe some adjectives, descriptive words, I am an elephant. I am big and gray. I stomp my feet. I love to play. So you can see that this develops. And then um, here's one for second grade. This one could be a rap. We use different kinds of background. We write the words, but we do use background music without the words. And you can choose like a nursery rhyme or a popular song that the children are singing or that they love. And then we write the words and use that backing track, which will be explained to you in workshops, in order to perform the poem. There's always a performance at the end, which includes movement, singing, playing instruments, at each level, of course. And in the case of early, intermediate, and advancing students, they're going to use their PMC, their preferred method of communication, in order to do these projects. The other thing is, you can mix. I'm going to stop sharing here just for a while. You can mix what our slide deck, which I'm going to show you shortly. The slide deck are actual slides that follow the lesson plans. And I'll show you those in a minute so that you can see them. You're going to have folders with all of these resources in them. So I'm going to be showing you curriculum maps, lesson plans, slide deck, and we're going to actually go through those right now, I believe. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, an early learner might be nonverbal, might require hand over hand assistance. They might read using pictures, cannot really generate original ideas. Repetition is always important with an early learner. An intermediate learner, learners who are able to use their preferred method of communication, they can read with photos and pictures and possibly identify limited number of basic sight words or details, maybe more details than an early learner. And an advancing learner, advancing learners who read with pictures and possibly identify limited number of basic sight words again, but they can respond independently to a story or instruction without verbal or physical prompts. So those are our three levels: early, intermediate, and advancing for those students. But then we also have standard kindergarten. They may be actually using 3 or 4 words and possibly even writing phrasing or phrases, sorry. First graders reading at a first grade level, and maybe starting to use more descriptive words. And then second grade, definitely using even parts of speech, possibly in first grade also, depending on your class. Nouns, adjectives, verbs, possibly even adverbs, second grade. So let me show you. I'm going to go back to the share, and I'm going to show you, first of all, let me just share the screen and get to where I want to be. The first thing I want to show you is our project resource guide. Start right here. And again, we're going to be talking about elephants, learning about elephants. Project Resource Guide is really a general slide deck that shows you, tells you about CEI, the Meridian program. So the first few slides are explaining about CEI and this program. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you do have this for your reference in your folders. So make sure to read this. It's an important document. The other thing that it does, it brings you through the curriculum materials, which I'm going to do right now. But here it is in the slide deck. Here's some of the instruments that we're going to make. And Here's some of the children in our previous year, last year, doing the project. The most important thing about this is that toward the end, it actually shows you how to modify for differentiated classes. A lot of you, we know, have classes that might have an early learner, a couple of intermediate learners, and maybe even an advancing student. It's even possible to have a K standard mixed in. So you can modify the slides and take slides from each level and put it into one deck. And toward the end here, some of these slides show you how to do that. You'll also be instructed when you are trained. Here are some examples of that. So this is an important document. Make sure you review it, understand that you have it. Then, here we go. This is what we have. The curriculum map I'm going to start with, and then we have lesson plans, which will be next, and then we have our slide deck. I just want to make sure you understand what is in your folders. The curriculum map I like because it's really just a general, it gives you a general idea of the program at each level. There's a curriculum map for all 6 learners. So you can see, you get the big idea. It tells you a little bit about the project. These projects are 7 periods. They could be done in 1 period per day or whatever you like, but the whole project is 7 periods, so 7 lesson plans at each level. Project summary, prior knowledge if you want to do a little lesson beforehand, academic skills at each level, art skills, fine motor skills, gross motor skills, SEL skills. And here's vocabulary. It just gives you a real outline of everything that's in the actual lesson plan. Music standards, music art standards, ELA standards. And toward the end, this is important, it gives you a rundown of the 7 days, just a general summary of each day and what we're going to do each day. Of course, the lesson plans and the slide deck have much more detail. So let me show you, this is early learner, by the way. Here we go. This is a lesson plan. And there are indexes here to bring you to lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Remember I said there are 7 lesson plans at each level. So again, this is very much like the curriculum map. It gives you a little bit of an overview of the lesson plan itself. In this case, at the early learner level, gives you an overview of SEL skills. And then we come to lesson 1, where this is still general information, but it's giving you the general information specifically for day 1 of the program. And you can see there's a lot of text here. There's photos, there's links to the books that we use. We do supply you with 3 or 4 different books about elephants. So the lesson plan is big, and it's important to look it over and understand what's in it. But in the slide deck, which is probably what you will be using in the classroom, there are speaker notes underneath each slide that are taken directly from this lesson plan. So you can teach right from the slide deck, which is really beautiful because there's a lot of great slides with images, and it just is inspiring for both you and the students, the children. So I'll show you that in a minute. So we have, these projects are separated into 4 sections. The first section is called an opening activity. It's kind of a warm-up where we learn musical things, beat, rhythm. We learn about our instruments. We learn how to breathe. We learn how to follow directions using I do, you do. So opening activity, then there are transitions, which means the opening activity usually takes place in a circle on the floor if possible. transition might be moving to the desk, and during the transition, the children can clap their hands to the beat they learned, or maybe just do movement like the elephant swaying its trunk, things like that. It's a lot of fun. Um, so, opening exercise, then the academic mini lesson is where we actually learn our literacy skills, new vocabulary, um, showing images. Every image has a vocabulary word underneath the image, so that the children begin to identify words with the images. Academic mini lesson. Then we have another transition, and we go into the music. In our case, the music program, and the music program has steps. Each step takes you through the lesson for that day. And we'll be, like I said, writing the poem. So we're going to take the information that we learned in the academic mini lesson for that day, and we're going to turn it into a line or two for our poem. And week to week, we'll add lines according to what we're learning about in the academic mini lesson that specific day. Finally, on the sixth day, we have a big rehearsal set up, what will be the final performance for the next lesson. The seventh lesson is a final performance. There's one more section to our lesson plan, and that is the closing activity. So, 4 sections: the opening activity, academic mini lesson, the music lesson, and then the closing activity, where it's sort of an assessment, and you could be asking the children about what they learned that day, new vocabulary words. What did they learn about the elephant that's new? So that's the lesson plan. And finally, I would like to show you the slide deck. Just give me a sec here. Here we go. Slide deck is really great. The first part of this, the first slide in the slide deck, or the second slide, here's just a title, is an embedded schedule. So the day that you're working on is highlighted right here, day 1. And it tells you a little bit about what we're going to learn that day. And then you see when you go to day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, it's the same. So as we go down, you'll see the embedded schedule, and it gives you a real good, and the children, a great idea of what we're leading to, the final performance at the end. And then we go to the opening activity. Now, the opening activity may have 2 or 3 slides. And here's the first one. Let's sit in a circle. Who is here today? Let's say and or move to each name. We're going to say our names. I'm going to model all this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this here. But we can use our drum to tap the syllables in our name. We're going to learn about beat, playing a steady beat, playing fast and slow, those music skills that I mentioned earlier. So the opening activity, here's the transition, moving from the circle to the desk, and then the academic mini lesson. And here's where we start to learn about the elephant. And finally, we get to the music activity, where we start to make our instruments and understand what our instruments are going to be used for. And be aware, I'm going to stop sharing one more time. Be aware that this slide deck, we have one for each of the 6 levels of lesson plans that we have. And as I said before, you can mix slides. In other words, if you have a lot of differentiation in your class and you want to input, you have an early learner and a couple of intermediates and advanced, and you want to input some intermediate slides into most of your children are, say, early learners, and you want to input a couple of intermediate slides and advancing slides into that early learner slide deck, you can do that. There's lots of ways, and in your trainings, you're going to see that that how you can do that. You'll be trained in how you can do that. Our teaching artists are amazing, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this project. So what I'm going to do now for the rest of the time that I have is I'm going to model teaching this program actually in about 25 minutes or 30 minutes or so, whatever time we have left here in the video. And so that you will see what it's like to teach a mixed class with a lot of differentiation, because we have found that that's usually the case in a lot of these classes. So I'm going to address students, a little bit of the opening exercise, a little bit about learning vocabulary words, using the books that we have, showing images, and finally explaining and writing one of the poems. So I'm going to begin the modeling now. Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Jim Pugliese, and I am a musician. Can you say that word? I'm going to say the word first, and then you're going to repeat it. Musician. Now you say it. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's try that again. Musician. Great. And you're going to be musicians by the time we're finished with this project. We're going to build some instruments. We're going to learn about elephants and the sounds that elephants make, maybe when they're stomping their feet or swinging their trunk or batting their ears or wiggling their tails. And we're going to make instruments that actually make those sounds. I'm going to show you those instruments in a few minutes. But first, I want to try a couple of things as a warm-up for our opening exercise. This is my drum. It's an African drum called djembe. Can you say that? I'll say it first and you repeat. Djembe. Great, great. You'll be using this drum a lot in these lesson projects. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play 4 sounds on my drum, and after I play those 4 sounds, I want you to play or to clap your hands today. Just clap your hands. So I'll play 4 sounds on my drum, and then you clap your hands 4 times, just like I played on my drum. So here we go. First me, I do, and then you do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you clap. 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clap. 2, 3, 4. Great. Now we can do that faster. And in music, we call that tempo, fast and slow. Tempo. Can you say that word? I'll say it first. You repeat it. Tempo. Good. We're going to add these words to our music vocabulary. I'm going to play a little faster this time. Let's see if you can follow me. I do, you do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clap. 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clap. 2, 3, 4. Perfect, perfect. Now slow, a slow tempo. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you clap. 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Another thing we could do is we could play very quietly. Let's do I do, you do again, but quietly. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you clap. 2, 3, 4. Now louder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, great. Another fun thing we could do, we could have fun with our names. How about one of my intermediate students? Can you tell me your name? Isabel. Isabel. Let's see how many syllables are in Isabel's name. Isabel. Isabel, 3 syllables. So I could play those 3 syllables on my drum while I say Isabel's name. Isabel, 3 syllables. We can go through the classroom with everybody's name, and we can all clap our hands and play the syllables of each of our names. That's just another fun thing we could do while we're doing the opening exercise. Okay, now I did say we're going to write a poem, and we're going to begin to do that right now. Remember, I said our poem is going to be about elephants, and the different kinds of body parts of elephants. And you're going to learn that right now. We're going to show some of the instruments that we have. Give me just a second as I prepare this. So, just as an example, here are some rhythm sticks that you will have in your classroom. And listen to this sound. That could be an elephant laughing. Listen to this sound. This is our drum that we're going to make. That could be an elephant stomping its feet. We're going to see pictures and images of those feet in a minute. That's just a couple of examples. What I want to do is I want to, we should actually name our elephant. Let's see. Maybe somebody can help me. How about one of my first grade standard students? Can you think of a name for our elephant? Snuggles? Oh, that's great. Snuggles. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture here. How about one of my advancing students? Can you tell me what this is? That's right, it is an elephant. And how about one of my early learners? Can you tell me if this is a big elephant? Is the elephant big? Do you think it's big? Yes, it is. Can you show me with your hands? That's right, it's big. It's big elephant. Great. And I want one of my second grade students. Do you think this elephant is happy or sad? Happy. Yeah, I think it's happy. Can you tell me why you think the elephant is happy? Oh, because it's playing in the water. Yeah. Good answer. It's actually giving itself a bath with its trunk. We'll learn a little bit more about the trunk later. So we have a happy elephant. The elephant's name is Snuggles. So the first line of our poem can be Snuggles, the elephant. Or we could say Snuggles, the happy elephant. Excellent. So that's the first line of our poem. Now, let's go to our second picture. Give me just a moment here. Oh boy, I love this picture. Whoa, look at that picture. How about one of my intermediate learners? Can you tell me what you think that is? A foot. It's an elephant's foot. A big elephant's foot. Yeah. And elephants, when they walk, whoa, they stomp their feet. They stomp their feet on the ground because they're big. And that's when we can use our drum to make a stomping, walking sound. And at the end of this project, we're going to do a performance, and some of you will read the poem, or maybe the teacher will read the poem. Some of you might make the sounds of the elephant. Some of you might use movement, like I did with my stomping feet, but I'm doing it with my hands. That could be a movement that you could do. If you like to dance or move, we could have dance, and we could have sounds, and reading the poem and playing our instruments, sounds, playing our instruments. So I think we have the second line. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. So the first line, Snuggles the elephant, or we could say Snuggles the happy elephant. Elephant's laughing. And then we can say, stomp your feet. We could even repeat that if we want. Stomp your feet. So that's another line. Going to show you another picture. Okay, this is another good one. What do you think the elephant's doing here? Yeah. Yeah, tell me again. One of my first grade students? That's right. It's eating twigs and leaves. Twigs and leaves. That's what elephants eat. And they use their trunk to grab the twigs and leaves and put it into their mouths. So they eat leaves. And you know what? What else they could do with their trunk? They can swing their trunk. The trunks are very long. That's a good word. A long trunk. Can you repeat that after me? I'm going to say it. You can even use your hands with some movement. Long trunk. Now you say it. Long trunk. Yeah. Long trunk. And they use it to eat. They can also make their trunk sway back and forth. That would be another movement. Another movement. Swing your trunk. Swing your trunk. So let's add a line. Let's use the swing your trunk. Swing your trunk. We could say it once or twice. So now we have Snuggles the elephant. Let's use happy. Snuggles the happy elephant. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Swing your trunk. Here's where some of you can use movement if you want. Swing your trunk. Let's go on to, oh, I like this one. How about one of my kindergarten standard students? Can you tell me what this is? A tail. That's right. That's the elephant's tail. Elephant's tail. And you know what elephants do with their tail? They kind of wiggle it around like this. They wiggle it around. You know why they wiggle it around? Because sometimes they're out in the fields eating or drinking, And there's a lot of insects and maybe flies around, and they're kind of trying to swat them away with their tail. So we could say that they're wiggling their tail. That would be a movement, wiggling their tail. And I have a sound for wiggling the tail. You'll see that I have little ridges on the side of my drum. That could be the wiggling their tail sound. Take a pencil and kind of scrape it. Wiggle our tail. And we saw the elephants eating. We could add a line there because I have a sound for eating twigs. I put some beans in my drum. And listen. Oh, it sounds like elephants are eating twigs. And the other thing that they do with their trunks is they drink water. And I have a sound for that too. I put a little water in this jar, and that's the sound of them drinking water or taking a bath. So you have a lot of options, a lot of different ways you can write your poem. And when we write our poem, you can see that some of these words have yellow highlights on them. That is when you would actually make the sounds. I want to show you just a couple more things. This is, I call it an elephant's ear. Elephant's ear. And a lot of times they have big flappy ears and they flap them around. Can you hear that? And it's the same as their tail. The reason they do that is because, again, they're kind of chasing insects and flies around with their ears. They're kind of chasing them away. So they wiggle those big ears that they have. Now, there's one more instrument, and this is an important one. We're going to make a rubber band guitar with a black, purple, and blue rubber band, and I put a pencil in there to change the pitch so that we could play a melody. Pitch means high sounds way up here, and low sounds way down here, low and high. So if you listen, this is the lowest sound, the black one. Purple is in the middle, and the blue one has a high sound. It's a high sound. So I could play little melodies. And what you're going to do during the course of this project is you're going to write your own melody using different color stickers. So you can see I have blue stickers, purple stickers, and black stickers. So you could use those stickers to decide, make choices on what your melody is going to sound like. I'm going to play this melody. I'm going to put it down so that I could play my instrument. But I'll tell you what the colors are. I first have 2 blue, and here's the stickers so that you know where they are. Blue, blue, purple, black, purple, black, black, blue, black, purple, blue, blue, black, purple, blue. So one of you, maybe one of our second graders, can actually play the melody. So now we have movement, we have reciting the poem. That could be the teacher, or maybe a second grader who can recite the poem, if you have a second grade or standard student in your class. And we have children making the sounds And of course, we said movement, dancing, dancing. So there's a lot of things that you're going to have choices. Some of you might want to dance. Some of you might want to play some of the sounds. Somebody might want to read. Somebody might want to play the guitar. There's lots of different ways that we can create our poem and then perform it. And when we perform it, we can invite another class in, or maybe the principal would want to come and see it. We could set up the stage by putting a piece of tape across a certain part of the front of the room so that behind the tape is the stage, and on the other side of the tape is the audience who could applaud after the show or final performance is done. Let's take a little bit, just a minute, to read and play our sounds one more time, just so that you see. So we have first line, Snuggles the happy elephant. He's laughing. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Swing your trunk. Swing your trunk. Wiggle your tail. Wiggle your tail. Eat and drink. Eat and drink. Snuggles the happy elephant. Great job, boys and girls. Great job. So that's how you can create a poem and make some instruments and make some sounds and use movement to do a final performance. Okay. So that's the modeling part. Back to you, teachers who are watching the video. Some important things to remember. Differentiation, that's important because so many of you have different level students in your class, and you can modify the slides. Remember that. That will be very helpful for you when you're using the slide deck to address your class-specific classroom and your specific students. As I keep saying, you will be trained, and we have a lot of resources. We have images. I have resources for showing you how to build the instruments. And again, you'll be trained on that, how to build the instruments. So you have a lot of support. And we like to, and I'm sure you also do in your classroom, we like to challenge each student at their level. So our early learners, we might want to challenge them. Maybe they can only point to a picture, but maybe as we get into the project, they'll be able to actually say the word. Point to an elephant, say elephant. So again, challenging each student. Second graders might begin to describe the elephant with adverbs, or even first graders, I would imagine, are using descriptive words. So again, challenging the students. And the only reason, not the only reason, but the big reason why we love these lesson plans is it's fun. We create the academic with the music, and the children are learning their literacy skills, learning some music skills and SEL skills all at the same time. And it's fun. They're not just sitting and writing. Bringing the arts into the classroom is a beautiful thing, and you'll be having an art lesson also with this project. So you'll have an art lesson and a music lesson. Once again, I'm Jim Pugliese. I'm a curriculum specialist with CEI Meridian Professional Learning Program, and I wish you all the best and have fun implementing this project with your students. Thank you.